There is an asteroid known as the God of Chaos. Its real name is 99942 Apophis. It's a massive space rock about 1,100 feet wide, and it is expected to make quite a close approach to Earth on April 13th, 2029.
What would you do if you had exactly 25 years warning that a 1,200-foot asteroid was going to pass closer to Earth than your own satellite TV signal? You're about to find out you already do. On April 13th, 2029, that's exactly what's happening, and NASA's been tracking it since 2004. Here's what actually happens next, and why two space agencies are sending spacecraft to meet it. This isn't doomsday clickbait. Every number I'm about to give you comes straight from NASA, the European Space Agency, and the Planetary Society. So, stick with me, because the real story here is better than anything Hollywood could write. It starts on June 19th, 2004. Three astronomers, Roy Tucker, David Tholen, and Fabrizio Bernardi, were working at Kitt Peak National Observatory out in Arizona. They spot a faint dot moving against the stars. Nothing unusual at first. But as more observatories around the world locked onto it, the picture got ugly fast. This rock's orbit looked like it might cross paths with Earth. By December of that year, the number came in, a 2.7% chance of impact on April 13th, 2029. That's about 1 in 37 odds. Doesn't sound like much until you remember the size of what we're talking about, something that could level a metro area. This asteroid got the highest threat rating ever recorded on a scale scientists use called the Torino scale, and it earned itself a name, Apophis, the Egyptian god of chaos and destruction. Fitting. Here's what made that 2.7% so terrifying. The asteroid weighs in at roughly 20 million tons. It's what's called an S-type asteroid, basically a stony body made of silicate rock mixed with metallic nickel and iron, formed way out in the main asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, roughly 4.6 billion years ago. Scientists at the Planetary Society ran the numbers on what a direct hit would actually look like, and the energy released would be around 20 times greater than the largest nuclear weapon test ever conducted. If it hit land, steel-framed buildings within 9 miles would warp and collapse, an area about the size of New York City. Ordinary buildings within 25 miles would be gone entirely, a footprint as big as the state of Delaware. If it landed in the ocean instead, it would carve out a crater roughly 4 miles wide, and nearby coastlines would face serious tsunami risk. That's the scenario scientists were quietly working to rule out for almost 2 decades. Now here's where it gets stranger. Scientists eventually ruled out a direct hit in 2029. Good news, right? Except they found something else, a tiny patch of space called a gravitational keyhole, only a few hundred feet wide. If Apophis passed through that exact spot in 2029, Earth's own gravity would bend its path just enough to line it up for a guaranteed hit on a future pass in 2036, maybe even 2068. So for years, this thing sat on the world's watch list like a loaded gun with the safety half off. Then, in March of 2021, NASA pointed some serious hardware at it, the Goldstone Deep Space Communications Complex in California, and the Green Bank Observatory out in West Virginia. Radar data came back so precise that scientists could finally close the book. Apophis will miss that keyhole. NASA confirmed there's no impact risk for at least the next 100 years. It got pulled off the official risk list for good. So, if we're in the clear, why are two space agencies sending spacecraft to chase this thing down? Good question. Hang on to that, because that's the real story here. Let's talk about what's actually going to happen on April 13th, 2029. Apophis will pass within about 20,000 miles of Earth's surface. For guys who remember when satellite TV dishes were the big new thing, this asteroid will fly closer to us than the satellites sitting in geostationary orbit, the ones about 22,236 miles up. Closer than the hardware beaming your ball game into your living room right now. And we're talking about a rock roughly 1,100 to 1,200 feet across, about the height of the Empire State Building, 3 times as wide and long. For a few hours, it'll be visible to the naked eye from parts of Europe, Africa, and Asia. It'll be about 3 times dimmer than the North Star, so you'll want a clear, dark sky, but from a brighter area, a cheap pair of binoculars will do the job. And you'll know it's an asteroid and not a plane or a star because of how it moves, drifting about the width of a full moon across the sky every single minute. Here's the part most people don't know. When Apophis gets that close, Earth's gravity is going to physically mess with it. Tidal forces, the same kind that pull on our oceans, will stretch and squeeze the asteroid, possibly triggering quakes and landslides right there on its surface. It might even change how the thing spins. And the encounter is going to permanently bend its orbit around the Sun. Right now, Apophis takes about 0.9 years to circle the Sun, and it's part of a group of asteroids called the Atens, ones with a tighter orbit than Earth's. Right now, it swings back close to us about once every 7 to 8 years. After the 2029 flyby, its orbit stretches out to about 1.2 years, and it graduates into a different family called the Apollos, asteroids with wider orbits than ours, and its future close approaches become far less predictable. An encounter this close, with a rock this size, is estimated to happen only once every 7,500 years. Your great-great-grandkids' great-great-grandkids probably won't see another one like it. Now here's why NASA and the European Space Agency aren't just sitting back to watch the show. NASA already has a spacecraft in play, and you might actually recognize its old name. It used to be called OSIRIS-REx. The probe that flew out to asteroid Bennu, grabbed a sample, and shipped it back to Earth in 2023. Turns out it still had plenty of fuel left in the tank, so NASA repurposed the whole mission and renamed it OSIRIS-APEX, APEX standing for Apophis Explorer. This spacecraft is going to trail about an hour behind Apophis during the 2029 flyby, use Earth's own gravity for a boost, and catch up to the asteroid about a week later. Once it arrives, it'll map Apophis in detail, then fire its thrusters directly at the surface in a move called the stir maneuver, kicking up rocks and dust to expose material that's never seen sunlight. After that, it'll spend a year and a half studying how sunlight itself nudges the asteroid's orbit over time, something called the Yarkovsky effect. A small thermal push that, over millions of miles, can be the difference between a close call and a direct hit. And get this, once the mission wraps up, the team is actually considering one last high-risk move, trying to touch the surface with the spacecraft's sample arm one more time, or even landing it on Apophis for good to act as a radio beacon for years to come. Worth pointing out, before anyone worries, NASA has confirmed the spacecraft's own thrusters aren't remotely powerful enough to nudge Apophis toward Earth, even by accident. Meanwhile, Europe isn't sitting this one out either. ESA's Ramses mission, short for Rapid Apophis Mission for Space Safety, is being built to rendezvous with Apophis before the flyby and ride along with it through the entire encounter, watching in real time as Earth's gravity reshapes the rock. It's actually reusing a lot of hardware and know-how from ESA's earlier Hera mission. And just like Hera, it'll deploy a couple of small CubeSats once it reaches the asteroid to get even closer readings. Combine that with NASA's after-the-fact inspection, and for the first time in history, scientists will have a complete before and after picture of what a close planetary encounter actually does to an asteroid. Here's why that actually matters to you and me. This isn't just about one harmless rock. It's a live rehearsal. If we ever do find a real threat headed our way, decades out, the data from Apophis is what tells us how these things behave, how their orbits shift, and how we might be able to nudge one off course before it's too late. Apophis isn't the threat anymore. It's the test run. So, bottom line, mark April 13th, 2029 on your calendar. No, it's not going to hit us. NASA's as sure of that as science allows. But for one night, you'll be able to walk outside and watch a piece of the early solar system, something that's been drifting out there since before Earth had oceans, pass by close enough to touch history in real time. And 2 entire space agencies will be right there with it, taking notes for whatever comes next. If you found this interesting, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one, drop a comment and let me know what you think happens in 2036, and share this with someone who'd get a kick out of it.